6 times in one speech. A Jewish rabbi stands in front of a crowd and says, "You have heard it said. But I tell you," that phrasing should stop you cold, not "here's a better interpretation, I tell you." In that culture, only one authority could override Moses, not a teacher, not a prophet. By the end of this speech, the crowd isn't just impressed. Matthew says they are amazed. Because he taught like he had the right to rewrite the law himself. That's not a compliment, that's the crowd realizing what just happened. Stay to the end, because the closing line explains exactly why that mattered. You are watching Jesus Tell Tales. If moments like this are why you're here, subscribe. And write Matthew 5 in the comments before you keep going. Here's the scene. Jesus sees the crowds and climbs a mountainside. He sits down. That detail matters. In that culture, a rabbi taught seated, with authority, not standing like someone pleading for attention. His disciples come close, and what he says first breaks every expectation in the room. Everyone listening expects blessing to go to the strong, the comfortable, the successful. Jesus opens with the opposite list. 9 lines that all start with the same word, blessed. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Not blessed are the poor in spirit, eventually. Once they fix that, blessed now already theirs. The kingdom doesn't go to people who have earned their way in. It goes to people with empty hands. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Grief isn't a sign God has left. It's a place he specifically promises to meet you. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth, not the aggressive, not the ones who took it by force, the meek. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, the pure in heart, the peacemakers, and the ones who get persecuted for doing right. He even says, when people insult you and lie about you because of me, rejoice. Because that's exactly how they treated the prophets before you. Read that whole list again. It's not a list of achievements. It's a list of people the world usually overlooks. Then he turns to his disciples directly. You are salt, you are light. Salt that stops being salty is worthless, fit only to be thrown out and walked over. A lamp nobody sees does nothing lit under a bowl. Nobody lights a lamp to hide it. A city built on a hill can't be hidden either, whether it wants to be seen or not. He's not telling them to try harder. He's telling them what they already are. And what happens if they hide it? Now watch the pattern he repeats 6 times. You have heard it said. But I tell you, the law says do not murder. Jesus says, anger in your heart is already the same crime, just not caught yet. He even names the insult that could land you in court. Calls someone raka, worthless, empty-headed. And you're already answerable for it. He adds that if you're about to offer a gift at the altar and remember someone has something against you, leave the gift right there, go make it right first, then come back. The law says do not commit adultery. Jesus says lust in your heart has already crossed that line. He's not lowering the bar, he's moving it inside you, to the place no court can ever see. If the law was a fence around bad actions, Jesus is saying the real problem started long before the fence. Then comes the line everyone quotes and almost nobody sits with, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person, turn the other cheek. Here's what gets lost in translation. A backhanded slap on the right cheek was how a Roman or a social superior humiliated someone beneath them. Turning the other cheek forces them to either stop or hit you as an equal. Open-handed, it's not weakness, it's refusing to be humiliated on their terms. Rome could also legally force any Jewish civilian to carry a soldier's pack for exactly 1 mile. It's called Angaria. Everyone knew the limit. Jesus says, go too, not because you have to, because now it's your choice. Not theirs, you've taken the power back. If someone sues you for your shirt, he says, hand over your coat too, if someone asks. Give if someone wants to borrow, don't turn away. And then the line that lands hardest of all, love your enemies, pray for the people persecuting you. Not tolerate, not ignore, love to people living under Roman occupation. That request must have sounded almost impossible. Even the tax collectors, the ones everyone despised, already love the people who love them back. That's not the bar, loving your enemy is. He ends this section the same way he began it. Aiming absurdly high, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. He turns next to religion done for an audience, giving, praying, fasting, all performed to be seen. Jesus says, do it in secret instead. Your Father already sees what happens when no one's watching. Then he gives them the words to actually say, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Give us today our daily bread, not this year's bread, not a guarantee for next month, today's. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive those who owe us. That line is a two-way door. And he says so plainly right after, forgive, or you won't be forgiven either. And then, almost gently after everything he's just demanded, he says, do not worry. He doesn't say it once, he asks it like a question. Twice, can worrying add a single hour to your life? Of course not. Look at the birds, they don't plant or store grain in barns. And your Father feeds them anyway. Are you not worth more than a bird? Look at the flowers in the field, not even Solomon, in all his wealth, was dressed like one of them. If God clothes grass that's here today and burned up tomorrow, he is not going to forget you. So don't run after the same things everyone without a Father in heaven is chasing. Seek his kingdom first, Jesus says, and the rest follows. Stop trying to control tomorrow. Today already has enough to carry on its own. He closes with one final image. And it's not a summary, it's a warning wrapped in a story. Everyone who hears these words and actually lives them is like a man who built his house on rock. The rain came, the rivers rose. The wind hit the walls, the house didn't move. Everyone who hears them and does nothing is like a man who built on sand. Same storm, same rain, that house collapsed completely. Notice what he doesn't say. He doesn't say the wise man avoided the storm. Both men got hit by the exact same weather. The difference was never whether the storm would come. It was always what he'd built his life on before it did. When Jesus finished, Matthew tells us the crowds were amazed at his teaching. Not because it was clever, because he taught like a man with the authority to rewrite the rules himself. Not like their own religious teachers. Now you know exactly what that amazement meant, and exactly what he was claiming about himself the whole time he was speaking. If one line from this hit you differently than the rest, tell me which one in the comments. Subscribe to Jesus Tell Tales, and we'll see you at the next one.